we're going to wrap up the last part of angle pairs. We're going to not just look at identifying or solving for basic angles in vertical, supplementary, and complementary angles. We're also going to look at solving for x. What happens when I get an algebraic equation? How do I solve it? So we're going to take what we know to apply it to these vertical angles. So what do I know about vertical angles? I know that vertical angles are congruent. The ones that are opposite, if you have vertical angles, they're opposite each other, and they're not just opposite, but they're also congruent. They are the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4x minus 11 is equal to 3x plus 4. What I know tells me how to set it up. I know they're equal, so I'm going to pop an equal sign in between them. So at this point, now we're going to just do some algebra. We're going to solve this down for x. So if you've done some practice on equations, which we've done, you should remember how to do this, but if not, it's okay. We're going to walk our way through it. So first thing we want to do is we want to isolate the variables. We want to get all the x's to one side, and we want to get all the constants, all the numbers to the other side, and then we'll solve for x. So we're going to start by getting all the x's to one side, all the variables to one side. So I've got, subtract 3x from both sides. So I've got x minus 11 is equal to, what's left over here is equal to 4. And then I'm just going to add 11 to both sides. And we get x is equal to 15. And actually, we're done right there. We don't even have to solve for x any further. So we get x is equal to 15. Now, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. If you learned how to do this by solving with Desmos last year, you can always take this equation and plug it into Desmos and solve it that way as well. Now, obviously, I'm going to encourage you to do it by hand. It's better for your math long term if you can do these things by hand. So vertical angles, when we get them, we're just going to set them equal to each other. All right, next one, here we go. We've got some complementary angles. We know that because they add up to 90 degrees. We see this little 90 degrees sign here. So what do I know about complementary angles? I know they add up to 90. So what am I going to do? Am I going to set them equal to each other? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add them up to 90 degrees. Exactly the thing we know is true. I know that if I add them and set them equal to 90, that's going to solve for x. They add up to 90 degrees. Add them up, set them equal to 90 degrees. Now, a common place we make mistakes is trying to subtract 2x on both sides, but we're all on the same side. All of that's on the same side. When it's all on the same side, instead of trying to peel the layers off and solving for x, what we're going to do is we're actually going to combine like terms. So I've got 2x and 4x. That gives me 6x's total. 23 plus 1 is 24, and that's all equal to 90. All right, now we can start subtracting from both sides. Let's always start here with our constants, subtract the 24 from both sides. And I get 6x, sorry, I lost some of my 6 there. 6x is equal to 66. Divide by 6, x is equal to 11. So my final answer here is 11. X is equal to 11. All right, last one. So if we took complementary angles and we added them up to 90, what do you think we're going to do with supplementary angles? We're going to add them up to 180. So same as before, we're not setting these equal to each other. They don't look equal, right? If I look at those two angles look the same size. Excuse me. They don't. So if they don't look the same size, don't set them equal. Instead, we're going to add these two together and this time set it equal to 180. So I've got 3x plus 45, so I'm just combining like terms on the one side. I added the 15 and 30 to get 45, and I added the 2x plus one more x. I have 3 x's to get to 3x. I'm going to subtract 45 on both sides. I get 3x is equal to 135. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. So I get x, 135 divided by 3. We could do that in a calculator. That's going to come out to 45 though. So my final answer here, x is equal to 45. So the key part of this lesson is identifying our angle pair, and then our angle pair tells us how to set it up. Vertical angles are equal. Complementary angles, you add them together, set them equal to 90. Supplementary angles, we add them together, we set them equal to 180. So your assignment, there's a second delta math, solving angle pairs 2, or solving angle pairs, maybe it says solving angle pairs, solving for x, some for solving algebra. Any one of those, you'll be able to see it pretty clearly on delta math. So do the next solving angle pair activity on delta math.